What's going on, everybody in YouTube world? This is the Cockney biker. I'm just taking Sheree out for a quick spin. Actually, I've got an errand to run. I've got to run to the bank, make a payment. Well, it's just another 90-something degree day, hot as buggery, but that's okay. I'm enjoying this. Now, I do wonder sometimes if I've probably, with regards to Sheree, I do sort of wonder occasionally if I bit off more than I could chew. I'll explain what I mean in a moment. Cue the intro. Now, I've always regarded myself as a bit of an honest sort of person, so, you know, I sort of tell it like I see it, or at least I explain it, even if in some cases it just might be a bit embarrassing to me. But on this occasion, it's like, you know, coming off of, Harley Davidson Street Bob, which is like, for all intentions and purposes, I thought it was a pretty heavy bike, and a big old torquey V-twin engine, and I've ridden around on other bikes as well, you know, some bikes I've had, like, you know, saddlebags, some bikes I've had this top box on, but Sheree here has to be the biggest and heaviest. I mean, she's coming in at like, what, half a ton something? And so, you know, it's only been like a little under a month, and I've only done like about 1,000 miles on her. And obviously, when you're rolling, she's as light as a feather. But where I kind of hold my breath and sort of clench my teeth is when I get to stop signs or strange manoeuvres, like if you're going up a hill to turn left or right or something. Yeah, I get a bit nervous. I do worry about sort of toppling her over. So I made an investment in her. I put some engine guards and I put some pannier guards on her. Sometime or other I'll jump off the bike and show them to you. I mean, I've done some upgrades as well onto her Indian, her Tomatoa.
Like a treasure from a sunken pirate wreck.
There are some manoeuvres where, you know, I'm very amateurish because of I need to get used to the size and weight of this bike. I mean, the power and torque of this bike is phenomenal. I absolutely love this. And yes, I'm a sucker for the gadgets and the TFT screens and everything. I bought a nice little phone mount here that goes in place of the BMW logo on my handlebars. So now that it's all rigged up, I'm quite happy about that. But at the end of the day, what this bike does more than anything, it gives me a very clear idea as to what it's like for newbies or people who are sort of changing up their motorcycles from, you know, a starter bike to like a mid-size, something like that. Clearest of all was a feeling that my understanding of what it was like for Shay to get off a little 250 that she passed her driving test on and jump onto a 650, and Dawn getting off a very light, agile little 750, the street 750, and then getting onto like a big old V-twin 103 switchback. So I sort of do have a really clear idea, and the thing is, though, those two, they overcame their anxieties and their fears about the size of the bike, and are quite comfortable with their bikes, and to the point where Dawn can now jump on an Indian, which is like a 111 cubic inch, and just ride it like it was nothing. With me, I've got a couple of things that I need to overcome with this bike. Now, first of all, and most noticeable for me, is the clutch positioning, as in like where the clutch bites. It's a hydraulic clutch, so it bites later on in the handle. It's not like a cable clutch where it starts initiating the biting, like, you know, halfway through. It's like the last couple of millimeters, so I have to sort of get used to that. And the engine is very quick revving. You just blip the throttle and it's straight away. Now, when you're riding around on a Harley or any kind of V-twin, you know, you've got a couple of seconds where it's yeah, okay, that's a gross exaggeration as to how slow it is, but you know what I mean. One quick little bloom, bloom, you know. The ergonomics are slightly different as well, you know. My feet are tucked in behind me. Now, they are comfortable. I'm comfortable on this bike. The saddle is incredibly comfortable, but it's a different sort of riding position. So I've got a lot of things to contend with, in addition to the sheer size, enormity and weight of this bike, which also has like a longer wheelbase. So, you know, doing tight little turnings and all that, yes, it's possible, but only after some extreme training. So I do feel a little bit at a loss on this bike with regards to, you know, where my comfort level and where my experience are regarding it. So yeah, like I said, it really gives me a clear idea as to like how nervous Shay was when she first got on that 650, and indeed how nervous Dawn was. I mean, Dawn was like shaking, she was so nervous when she first rode that switchback. I'm not that bad, but I still kind of like bite my teeth a little bit and take a deep breath if I come up to a stop sign. I don't duck walk it if I can, but I'll sort of come close to it a couple of times. I was in duck walking it to a stop, and when I take off it's all the feet up. I had Renee on the back of this bike when we went to Alexander, which is like, you know, about an hour's ride south of us. Now on the straights it was perfect, but like coming to stops I was very nervous with her on the back there. I want to give a shout out to a couple of people. First of all, I want to say hello to a gentleman who's in South England, in Cornwall actually. Sam the Scampy. He's just recently started up a new YouTube channel for himself. He's asked me for a couple of tips and tricks, and you know, we've been talking and he's been doing alright. So I want to encourage anyone who's on my channel that, like, if you happen to be passing by and I want to check out someone else who rides a Kawasaki 650, and this might be the guy to like sort of jump on with. Check him out, subscribe if you can. Another guy I want to give a thanks out to for like some of the kindest comments and really a diamond, and that's Victor. I've probably mentioned you before in previous comments, but you've always got something so nice to say, and honestly, you and Biker Chick and a few other people really do make our day, as well as Pixie and let's not forget Uncle Red Devil. So just a shout out to you. Oh yeah, I just noticed something really funny about this bike. Somebody mentioned it and I sort of have to agree with them. The front end of this bike looks like something out of Angry Birds. So yeah, so going back to biting off more than I can chew. Yeah, a bike like this, you know, like I said, is not for the amateur. It's not for a person who just passed their test, I can tell you that. I mean, it's such a learning curve, even for experienced riders. And I've always been the sort of person to say the beginning of wisdom is knowing you know sod all. Those gears are definitely a little bit clunky, and I've got to remember that it doesn't have self-cancelling turn signals. Okay, after this car I'm just going to bomb. And I'm wondering why tyres don't last very long on these bikes. I went on to like the Kawasaki K1600 enthusiasts Facebook page, and I sort of put out the same sort of thing, saying, hey look everyone, do you like feel the same way when you first got on this bike? And a lot of it was like, yeah, well, there's always going to be a transition period. There's always going to have to be some part where you're going to have to get used to it. And there's a lot of really helpful advice. I mean, some of the top advice was like, do a training program. You know, do one of those DMV trainings, intermediate or advanced course, where they sort of teach you how to do a lot more swerving and curving and messing about. That's one piece of advice. I thought that's quite good. Other bits of advice included things like take the saddlebag and the top box off it, ride it naked so it's a little bit less of a weight, and which I had been doing for a while. I mean, this bike looks awesomely sexy and pretty dashing when she's naked. Oh yeah. But the thing is, like, I'll just go and put on some pannier guards on this, and so pannier guards without panniers looks like pretty ugly. And besides that, someone said, look, just get used to the weight. It takes time, takes a few miles, but before you know it, it'll be like jumping on a little 50cc moped. And which is true. It's just time and riding it. Don't be scared of it, just go easy and just in gentle increments push the envelope. Yeah, but that's my biggest fear on this bike, and that's like a low speed or a sort of, or a 0 mile an hour tip over. You know, losing my footing, or like coming to brakes and at a slightly awkward angle, coming to a stop at an awkward angle. That's my biggest fear. That's the thing that I'm just, because you know, you've got to cope with several factors. Picking up a massive machine like this, plus the embarrassment, everyone looking at you like, oh god. yeah, you do kind of worry to yourself a little bit about that. Otherwise, once you're up and running, even at like 2, 3, 4 miles an hour, it's a joy to ride. Very manoeuvrable. Just sit back, put the stereo on, listen to some music, and away you go. I've actually got the music turned off right now because I don't want to hit any copyright infringements on YouTube. Oh, that brings me to another thing. I received notice the other day that I've just crossed the 1,000 subscriber mark. So yes, I'm up to about like 1,016, 17 right now. But still, that is awesome, and I want to thank every one of you for basically subscribing. You're awesome. I don't know what to say. It's an amazing feeling. Still, it'll take about a month or two before Google get around to monetizing my YouTube channel, because they say it's going to take about a month just to sort of make sure that I'm on the up and up. But yeah, thank every one of you. Next stop, 5,000, then 10,000, and then just keep building it from there. So yeah, I love you all. You're amazing. Thank you so much for that.